Okay, Doug Clower, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a migration strategy, a transition strategy for your network servers and a way to move network servers onto a Linux box or into a virtualization platform. So as we know, hardware vendors years ago or a few years back actually stopped developing new driver or new support for NetWare, and we've announced the end of support for NetWare or end of support for the kernel. We're talking about services, and the services we are not ending support for. So the question might be is, this older hardware that's 32-bit based, what do we do with this, and how can we make sure that we don't lose what we love here but still be able to take advantage of the new technology? There are still some 32-bit platforms out there, but most of the, virtually all the new platforms that are being developed are 64-bit. And at some point in the future, I'm sure we'll start talking about 128-bit platforms, etc. But we're just going to concentrate on this. The idea here is that this existing physical server, we have the ability to take NetWare, the network kernel, and the services, and move them into a virtualization space. So we think about moving NetWare over here, or what we would call OES2 NetWare, up here, which would be the kernel component of that, and have the services like file and print and what other elements you might have up here like DHCP or other things. Obviously, directory services could be running there. But the idea here is now we have a virtualization platform underneath this. This virtualization platform would be your virtualization platform of choice, and this will give you the opportunity to run more than just one server in that space. You might also run in this space what I'll call an OES2 Linux box, and maybe you have a couple of those OES2 Linux boxes here. So for a given platform, OES2 Linux, a couple of instances of that running, and now I have my NetWare server that I actually migrate into that space. The nice thing about this is as we go along, we can take the file space, the file storage, things that are here, and we can move those to other platforms. The nice thing about it is in the older configuration, we had a physical set of drivers, a physical set of interfaces that allowed us to talk to that. We abstract that layer, obviously, with the virtualization component so we can still access the same hardware type things, but we do it through this virtualization layer that takes care of it. So now the file services can just be ported to wherever we want to. This server can take care of it. You can even get fault tolerance and maybe do some cluster services or get to fault tolerant workloads if you want to. So the file could go here, and we're also splitting that load and putting file in another space as well. Now we've finished that migration, we're moving forward, and maybe we want to do the same thing with print, so we move print over here onto this box. Nice thing about it is I now have a virtual machine that was a NetWare-based box, but I can take all of those empty, that space. This server is no longer doing anything for me. I can change it. Now I can make it become a Linux box. I have now preserved the services that we all have grown to love and provided them. I can move things back and forth, so now I can maybe move print back to this side. But these services are now available on a Linux kernel and can be virtualized. Now these workloads can be moved at will at different times, so you could take a piece of hardware down and have another virtualization platform running somewhere else, move this server over, do the maintenance on this box. But the whole idea about virtualization gives us a great deal of flexibility, and although we're going to stop supporting the kernel, we still have network services.